Welcome to the first video of the daily 3800. So, this video is basically going to be about me telling you about myself. Telling you, what I've got done to this car already. Because the rest of the videos out there are just garbage. We're going to try to keep it fun. We're going to try to keep it exciting. So, first off, let's sort the boys from the men. First off, we're not going to do any of this. Or this. And definitely none of this. So without further ado, let's get started. So my name is Grant, and I've owned a Grand Prix base in 05 several years ago, and it was clapped. Like, I bought this thing off of a used car dealer, paid $8 grand in it, plus interest, and just... dude, the thing had so many problems. When I got it, I thought, oh, this thing is cool, cool, whatever. Put some racing stripes on it, and I decided, hey, I'm going to do a muffler delete. Eventually, it just kind of... blew up on me. I had the oil sensor gauge, or the oil pressure sensor, blew out of it, so all the oil, escaped from the engine, and I've overheated it countless times. It was a mess. Eventually headed to Houston or something. I lived in San Antonio at the time. It just died. And out of all the misfires I drove it on, as rough as I drove it, it eventually died. So that was the end of the first Grand Prix that I owned. So from there, I decided I'm just going to go get a Ford Fusion, finance that for 4 years, and I paid that off and got really tired of it. So I sold it and got this Grand Prix from a nice gentleman in Georgia, where I live now, in the Atlanta area, and it's got the L32, it's a 2007 GT, it's white, and he kept it garage kept from 17,000 miles. I mean, this thing has got currently 228,000 miles on it. It's a lot, I paid $5 grand for this car, which wasn't bad. So from there, I decided, let's do little things here and there. Let's tweak it, get a tune. So, I paid ZZ Performance, great company, by the way, to give me the 1.0 tune, which did it some good. Got a little bit of power out of it. Wasn't bad. And then from there, I decided to look further into, getting more power out of it. I think one of the biggest jobs that I did, I tore the engine down to the block. The engine was still in the car, so, however you want to, I took the heads off. I bought their $100, I think it was like 0.064 inch head gaskets, threw those in there, replaced the lower intake manifold supercharger gaskets, valve cover gaskets, got a new water pump and gasket with that. I also swapped out the stock valve springs for the LS6. I think they're like 90-pound springs, and stock on these cars, the rocker arm is at a ratio of 1.65, and I swapped out for a 1.9. Now, you don't want to use those on any other cam but a stock cam, because they're specifically designed to give you as much lift as possible on a stock cam. Otherwise, you'll kill it. You'll break it. Don't do it. So from there, you know, I cleaned the engine up and cleaned the cylinders as much as I could. You know, all of that stuff, the valves and, you know, the heads, and got all that, scraped the freaking heads off, you know, the old gasket, head gasket on it. And I spent 51 hours over 4 days tearing it apart, putting it back together. I also installed the water to air, the 2-inch intercooler that goes between the lower intake manifold and the supercharger right there in the middle, with the heat disperser, or intercooler, whatever you want to call it. You mount to the behind the front bumper, and it works great. I mean, it's great. You know, the supercharger builds boost better. You know, it cools the air off, because, you know, cool air is a lot denser, so it's got more oxygen in it. Not just with that, but with the rockers, allow the valves to open up wider, so that lets more air in that's dense. And the valve springs that I put in there, very responsive, by the way. I mean, it revs so much quicker now. With just that, I noticed a lot of power. But however, when you get the ZZP tune, the 1.0, your first time, they tend to bring the RPMs up from 6,000 to, I think it's like 6,300 or something like that. My injectors, the stock ones, are about 43 pounds. Maxed out, I got 100% injector duty at 5,300 RPMs. So now I'm trying to swap those injectors out for 60 pounds. So that way, you know, I've got those on the way, of course, and then a fuel pump rewire kit. And then from there, decided to get it ready to extract heat, because eventually I'm gonna have it twin charged. That's the whole point. That's the goal with this thing, is to twin charge it. I installed some heat extractors. My buddy Matt cut the holes in the hood for me. I went and got the heat extractor vent thingies from Junkyard. I mean, you can get any replacement part for these cars. Definitely, if you're troubleshooting, don't buy new parts to troubleshoot with. Go to a junkyard. I also got a GXP spoiler on the back. It was really rough condition when I found it at that junkyard, but I wet sanded it down, repainted it, put some new clear coat on it. Looks great. I got a muffler delete, as you could probably hear. The GTs sound a lot better with a muffler delete than the base models do. I don't know what it is. They just do. The Spectre filter on straight onto the mass airflow sensor housing, whatever. I did that, but you know, I've got plans to change that. And the tower strut sway bars in the front and the back, which makes the turning a little bit more responsive when you're in corners. But suspension's on my list eventually. You know, I want to get the performance stuff out of the way. Transmissions are garbage. They are crappy transmissions. Manual swap is next on my list after the twin charge. It's a lot of money. I think so far I've put about $4 grand into this car. Oh, I did a from the 4-inch pulley, supercharger pulley, I did a 3.4 inch. Oh man, get a smaller pulley, more boost. Don't do that. The Eaton M90, which is the supercharger that's on the 3800 series, they're specifically built and designed to do a certain amount of boost within a certain range. The happy range is about 7 to 10. If you want more boost, get a turbo. Anything over 10 pounds, it's inefficient. Criticism, hit me. Hit me with it. I want to hear the criticism. I want to know what I'm doing wrong. If I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. Everything that I've learned from you guys. Or I've learned from YouTube or forums or just contacting other mechanics who've had similar problems. Insult me. I don't care. I take it well. It's fine. I've got a couple of videos coming soon. I got some front and rear exhaust logs on the way from ZZ Performance. I have a fuel pump rewire kit, which is supposed to boost your voltage on your fuel pump by 0.4. I'll do a whole video on installing those fuel logs. Fuel logs. Speaking of fuel logs, I've got those too. Stock fuel and fuel rail. Had to go. I'm going to make another video soon. Hopefully on Saturday, it'll be all about the install and how to do it, what to look out for, how it sounds before and how it sounds after, and I'll tell you if it's worth it or not. Stay tuned, you guys. Please subscribe, like. I'm going to try and get this going. I'm going to try and do some very quality videos with quality audio, so that way you can see what's going on, see how things are working, see how things go in, the problems that we have, how we're going to fix them, and we'll go from there. So if you have any suggestions, anything you want me to do, anything you want me to show you, drop a comment below. Eventually in the future, we'll be doing some giveaways, some little parts here and there. So yeah, hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. Catch y'all later.
Hi, I'm sorry about that. You can go ahead with your order. We'll write it down, and then I ring it in and you go to the window.
All right, can I get a chicken quesadilla?
Anything else for you?
Nope, that's it.